what's up everyone? Welcome to the continuing video, second part where Tesla has fixed my car. So let's check it out and see what's the quality of third-party body shop work that Tesla hired to fix the car. So you all saw my, sort of problems. These are probably first world problems, what they would call it in USA or maybe Europe. But when you pay such a big amount for a new car, you expect quality. Now, I didn't expect the car to be on the German level because I knew Tesla cars had faults. But to be fair, I've saw a few Model 3 owners in Croatia, and a few of them who got car earlier than I did from Fremont got even worse condition, terrible panel gaps compared to my car, and it looked horrible. So when considering that, I'm happy how my car looks. Now, I've read through some comments. There are people thinking that I've rented the car just to trash talk about Tesla. No, I bought the car with my own money, my own savings, and it's my car. I was complaining with full right. I did not rent this car to make a trash video. I'm just sharing my personal experience with the Tesla. So let's cut to the chase and see what has been repaired. Now, you might notice, or maybe not in person, slightly noticeable, maybe on camera, not as much. So my front bumper has been repainted. Now, from the day one, since metal, aluminum, or plastic bumpers always have slightly different shade, especially when it comes to light colors. But if I come closer, you can notice there was a bubble here, so they repainted this. Now the paint job quality and the matching of the pearl white color is hard, but I think they did a decent job on that end. I would say it's a good job. I had some through the time, like maybe 3 spots of stone chips. Luckily for me, this was repainted. So was the front quarter panel here in the front. And they didn't remove this one. They just taped it everything and painted the paint and then a clear coat just on top of the fender. Now I had a stone chip around here. It was also fixed, but this is thanks to the warranty cover. Now, what some of you might remember, there's a scratch here that was fixed. It's gone, and the car really looks good now. But what happened is they've scratched my headlight, but that luckily just was polished out, and there's no major damage to it. So that part is okay. I've complained about the alloys. I didn't want to complain that, but these get rashed. You can see, but even being super extra careful just happens. So I've thought to myself, I don't care about those. I care about the body. Now, my friend managed to hit my bottom here with his zipper. It was not on purpose, it was by accident, and it kind of chipped all the way to the metal. So I've asked and I've paid for this to be repainted, but they were kind of slim. Now maybe this doesn't show off on the camera, and this clear coat here is thin. I've complained it to them. They've kind of polished it out, but you don't notice like where the color is. Now I don't have a specialist eye. I know people who are in detailing do notice those details. Now about the trunk, now it's still making some terrible closing noises. Sometimes, rarely, doesn't close all the way. There was supposed to be a software update to fix that, but it didn't do anything. I'm still waiting for these to be replaced, or at least that's what Tesla said. but parts are super late. Now this, you might remember, there's unpainted part here that look horrible. This is supposedly glue. They've repainted this part. Now you can see just a little bit over the plastic here paint, so that's the only way you can see, and you can see the rough edges here. So they didn't polish this out, and that's the part that wasn't good on quality. They didn't really protect this super high. There's like small amount of white color you can see there, and of course they didn't do anything about the rest of the car, because I didn't want the car to be stripping apart. That would just take a lot of time. When this was being done, it was also holidays, so I was without the car for about 2 weeks, although it was supposed to be only 5 days. So as you can see, what I've complained about, this was not, they could have resprayed this, but I was just I don't care as much about that, about some other stuff. But for example, I've showed you that this was scraped from the factory, because they were adjusting this, and this end is still, there's a gap when it's closed on this end, but they've just put up a touch-up paint. As you can see, this is not a clear coat. They were using a airbrush, but instead of just spraying this, they were too lazy. They just used some paint, and as you can see in the background, they're kind of trying to conceal that. So that was not the best thing. Now if I close this up, as you can see, this doof, and then it's like struggling. It's not closing properly, and that's still not addressed. As you can see, this gap, you can see there's not a lot of light now, but when there is a lot of sun, you can see a lot inside. Look at this. I mean, of course, and the case is with this. So this end is quite good. As you can see, this is acceptable, but in my mind, I've kind of made peace with myself. I'm not sure if they're gonna manage to squeeze this one in, because it's flush here, but if you press it down, then it's lower than the top part. And the thing is I guess it's the molding or something, you know, like here as well. Just gotta learn to live with that, because I don't know, same for the front gaps that I've mentioned. Now I was watching my video, I think they've kind of increased this gap, but then I also think that they didn't remove the door. Now someone did a horrible damage on my clear paint here, and it was quite deep. It went all the way to the color. That was also damaged. So they've resprayed this whole door, but what they do then is they spray it out and to the other part. So I don't know if you can notice the color difference. I can't. So I was talking with a professional detailer, and he said, you know, sometimes on the sun, not on this light, you can notice like the edges, like the factory and the after. So I also had a complaint. These edges were rough because they've sprayed it on the side, and then this was all really rough. So they did polish this a bit, but it's not like on the other side. Now, and the detailer told me don't polish that out because you're going to thin out your clear coat. So I've kind of also decided not to do anything about that. Now my car is finally in a some flies. My car is finally in a condition that I wanted it to be. But let me just mute this. But now I'm considering putting on a PPF and just giving the car, either giving the car to get it polished out and then put a ceramic coating, or do a PPF that has self-healing, you know, it's water repellent and hydrophobic, and it's in a way it's treated with ceramic coating, and it's also self-healing. So because someone just dinged at my door here, and the Sentry didn't record that, unfortunately. Now I know the light is not the greatest. Maybe I should have filmed during the day, but there was so much sun and it was cloudy today. Over here you can clearly see, it's yellowish. If I come really close, let me see if the camera will focus. Nah, it's struggling. Yeah, you can see it now. You can see here the edge, and it's rough. This right up to my nail. You can see this yellow edge. So you can see the difference where the color was repainted. And they also didn't polish this one out, so it kind of has rough edges. And you can see that the color now, when I compare it here, now the camera has focused, you can see the edge. So you can see clearly the bodywork. I mean, from the outside it looks okay, but it's completely not matched. This one's more yellowish. But what can you do? I mean, people don't respect other people's property. They damage. I always pay attention when I open my doors. I always put a finger, and then I open it to someone's door, so my finger is between, and then exit out, so I wouldn't damage my doors and other people's doors. And I don't understand why Ford and Skoda had that thing. When you open the door, it extends like a rubber and it goes like this, and then you don't damage that. Why is this not a standard in every freaking car? I have no idea. Now the windows were squeaking. They've kind of used a dry lube. You can see like a residue, and that fixed the windows not squeaking terribly when it's raining. Again, if you came to the drive, it was like up and down. It was horrible sound. But I do have some other issues. There's this sound cars making over speed bumps. It's like a little sound, and the driver's seat, which I'm going to go tomorrow to the service, has started making this horrible sound. Look at this, or listen to this. Not now. So you can hear that, and I've recalibrated the seats. It didn't help. Tesla ordered the electric motor, but I don't think that's the electric motor, because when you go back and forward, you don't hear it. But when it goes up, I think it's the frame or something. So that's it. Otherwise, when you forget about the details, I'm really happy with the car. I got new updates. I'm really super happy with the car. And I'm being 100% honest here. So I'm gonna try to wrap it up the video, but I just want to say the whole experience with Tesla was completely ruined if it's your first car. For me, it was my first brand new car, and it was completely ruined. I've went so much times to the service in the first year that it's completely embarrassing, because the point of getting this car was not spending money on service. But there's a thing. Now, after 1 year, Tesla was recommending, you should fill your AC. You know, you're using a lot of AC to cool the batteries or warm the batteries. So, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But still, I mean, in 1 year, I've never recharged gas in my car, my other car, for almost 10 years. I know at some point later on you should, but okay. I've told him, okay, do it, and it costed around, I'm gonna lie from top of my head, but it was a little bit less than 2,000 euro. No, excuse me, 200 euros. It was like 180, something like that, and included replacing the air filters. There's two of them for the cabin. They're like underneath here in this panel. So I didn't want to deal with that, and Tesla recommends changing it every 2 years, but I just wanted to, I didn't have any smell or something, but I just wanted to have clear air filters. I do run my AC all the time. I keep it around 22, 21, in winter 23, 24 max. And another thing happened. You can see here there's a bubble. If you look at this one's flush. but this one is kind of bubbling up here on this end. You can see if I press this, you can see that. So this is a vegan leather, or the artificial leather. Tesla used to use real leather, but they've switched to this one. And apparently I saw in my group, Telegram group, Tesla Croatia, who have multiple owners, same things happening. They replaced your steering wheel in warranty, but what happens after the warranty if it's still defect? But I saw some cool carbon fiber steering wheel, although I'm not a huge fan of that. But they're quite good quality, so just might end up replacing mine or upgrading it. But we'll see. I'll wait for that to develop further before actually deciding to replace that. And to wrap it up, I just wanted to come back to the front. When they've adjusted back the fender, there's a slight gap here. They couldn't make it perfect. This gap is slightly smaller, but you can definitely see now here the difference in the color. So this is original and this is painted, and then over here as well, you can see that now on the light it's quite different when I look at the car. So, but again, the pearl color is ungrateful. All pearl or metallic colors are. I can definitely see the shade, but then again, I just want to enjoy my car instead of complaining. Now the bottom bumper, I've also forgot to mention, was replaced, and now you can see it looks kind of yellowish, and it is yellowish. All of the doors, I can't say, or they just kind of matched it, but I still love the car despite all the issues. I think now most of them have been addressed. So I'm just trying to enjoy my car. Now tell me in the comments, what do you think? Should I put a PPF on the car or no? I found a good deal. It is an expensive job, but I just think I want to protect my car. But then I'm thinking also I could just, for the same amount of money, respray the whole car and keep it mint. Sorry for the longer video, just to show you. So when you come close, it's like hard to tell the difference, especially when you're looking the hood, which wasn't painted, but the whole bumper, I had a minor accident here, was repainted, also warranty, but you can see that it's sagging a little bit. You can see it wasn't properly adjusted, and it's hard to get those clips on, so I'll have to ask them to see if they can do something about that, but kind of thinking that's probably not going to be the case. You can see that I've scraped the hubcap. I'm going to replace that. And yeah, I almost forgot, I wanted to make this video be positive. Look at this car, it's just so beautiful at this light. Love it. But yeah, so they were not 100% professional, and what they did is they've scuffed my doorstep here, and they scuffed the aluminum. You can see this. So you can see the car is completely washed, has no dust on it, because I washed it a few hours ago, and I do it by in a self-washing, self-service car wash. I always wipe it down. I use micro towels, and I always watch not to put my feet over here. I'd rather put it on plastic if I must, but I don't. So this is what they did. They didn't take pictures of the car, of course, which they should have. And now it turned out that they are going to repaint this and replace this one. For me, free of charge, of course, because that's what they did. Yeah, the leather, only on this end, it's kind of making this marks, but it's the black leather is holding quite good. I just wipe it with a wet micro towel, and that's it. I did get these original Tesla floor mats. The only con is maybe this is the dead pedal is not higher, but that's it. For the rest, I've noticed the other day I got a little ding here. I have no idea, because when you close this, it's not in the way in any way, but they were trying to adjust the speaker here because we're making some noise, so maybe, I don't know if they've dinged it or not. I have a feeling like when you leave the car at the service that they do damage if they don't have enough space in service, which is the case in Croatia because they didn't open a real Tesla service. They're in a third-party service at the moment, but they should be opening their own this summer. So sorry if the video was longer. I just wanted to share some of my Tesla experience, and while I'm at it, and then I promise I'm going to wrap it up. You can see here there is an edge where they've painted it, and then this is rough. So this is like rough. So that was really not professional. This should be clear. There's a mosque here in the background. If you hear some, I think there's a prayer. So yeah. So I'm definitely gonna wrap it up here. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna do more videos. I'm gonna try to be positive.